Going live. Hey, sorry, I lost internet connectivity there for a minute. Hey guys, lost internet connectivity. Sorry about that. And my cat woke up. All right, I hope I've explained just about everything that anybody has any questions about. And I'll wait for everybody to catch up and catch in. 10,000 Lakes, thanks for being here. Shu, thanks. Realist, thanks so much. Realist, what do you think of all of this that I've just spent the last hour and 40 minutes going through? Oh, Shu, man. When they do that, cats are they're sending a message. Are they going to give a warning about the EMP? Absolutely, yes. Listen, I spent a year in Congress working as a high-level staffer. I was in a lot of meetings and blah, blah, blah. And you can say as much as we want about the government, but even the militant leftist socialists, they care for their people. You can't be in government and not care for something somehow. You can be as much of a sycophant as you want, but there has to be a caring nature. If you're in the military, if you're in the secret services, you care about your country and your people more than any pot smoking, Hillary voting, Antifa member out there. Every person that that is in the secret services, the CIA, NSA, they have a deep love and passion for their country, for their families, and for everything that they stand and work for. Do they make mistakes? You betcha. Spying is just a two-edged sword. The deeper that you get in passionate things, the more risks you take. So yes, they are going to give us a warning because everybody involved in all of these projects deeply cares about their country, deeply cares about their families, they love. So they're just waiting for the moment. Listen, I mean, come on, guys, be serious, be realistic. I talked about the UFO thing, right? The UFO phenomenon was acknowledged by the Pentagon. Have you guys been to the Pentagon? I've been to the Pentagon. There is no bureaucracy greater than the Pentagon. To get something, something that's outside of the bureaucratic norm to happen outside of the Pentagon is not going to happen. Just not going to happen. If you don't have a regulation to point to it, if you don't have proper orders to back it up, if you don't have documentation, I don't care what it is. 9/11's happening. Where is it on the form? You mean a jet has hit the Twin Towers, one of the Twin Towers? I don't have a form for that, sir. I can't relinquish these guns to you and this ammunition. I'm sorry, sir. I've got to have another plane has hit the towers. Oh, well, wow, that's something, sir. But I still need the forms, please. I can't give you these weapons until I get the proper orders from the proper. I know this is a national emergency. I see it on the television, sir, but there's nothing. Holy shit, we've just gotten hit by a plane. I still can't give you these weapons, sir. So that's the Pentagon for you. They're just the perfect bureaucracy. Things work as they're designed to there. So for the Pentagon, a bunch of career generals who've spent all of their adult lives saying there's no such thing as as UFOs, you can't even start there. Go to the NCOs. You want to talk hard-headed people? The more you move up the the food chain of the non-commissioned officers, the harder that head is. You are not a free-thinking individual if you're an E7, an E8, and especially an E9. If it's not in the Universal Code of Military Conduct, it doesn't happen. Does the Universal Code of Military Conduct say they're UFOs? No, it doesn't. I don't care what you're showing me out there, Private. I don't care what I see out there, sir. This book doesn't say it happens. It doesn't happen. I don't. Yes, it's flying around my head. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not a UFO. And then suddenly, without need, without cause, without justification, same as the EMP stuff that the president signed, those two interesting things, comes this other revelation that even Trump scoffs at. He says, if it's real, it's something. Oh my God, that is so brilliant. That is a man who's been through hundreds of depositions. He has spent thousands of hours with a lawyer. So he knows how to send a message without sending a message. Listen, if you're going to negotiate with Trump, he's going to tell you what he wants. It's up to you whether or not you're going to give it to him. If you give him what he wants, you may have a deal. If you don't give him what he wants, he walks away. But he's going to telegraph it. There are no surprises with Donald Trump. None. I mean, there's nothing that has surprised me about that man. He makes me laugh. He knows how to push the buttons. But I've not been surprised one time by him except for the UFO thing. Whoever got Donald Trump, President Trump, to say UFOs are real, acknowledged, verified, and released video proof, then that person has mighty big kahunas. Those are big brassy balls. First of all, to convince the NCOs, then the brass of the Pentagon to make this disclosure, to do a complete 180 of your philosophy, of your view of the world, just everything. That's like the military saying, and starting today, there will be no more uniforms. We are all going to be wearing jockey shorts. Yes, no more uniforms. That's as big, if not bigger. Bigger saying that they're UFOs. Acknowledging UFOs has to be a bitter pill for all the Pentagon to swallow. Then, whoever got the Pentagon to sign off on that has to make that little trip from Virginia over to D.C., get into a secure bunker center, 3-4 floors below the White House or in the old executive building, and say, listen, guys, I know for 50 years, we had Project Blue Book and all this kind of stuff, and we've said for years that, UFOs just aren't real. That's just our policy, and we stood by it. We need to disclose that UFOs are in fact real, and we'd like to release at least these 3 videos. I can tell you that 1600 Pennsylvania laughed those uniformed officers out of the room. laughed them. And they went out of the room. They went into another room. They came with a wheelbarrow full of nose, put it in front of them and said, no, 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 no. Trump is not going to be the UFO president. No, guys, I know you have all this proof and everything. Secret. What? What's going to happen? Well, you need to tell me more about this. And I don't care about the UFOs. What event is going to happen that ties in with these UFOs? Because there has to be an event that tells the government to do a 180 on one of their number one policies. Definitely number one military policy. If there's one thing you can be for sure, that the entire Pentagon and the military operation is 100% no, there are no UFOs. And so for suddenly they say yes. And I can tell you right now that 99.9% of the people working at the Pentagon and within the military industrial complex and the White House do not believe at all in UFOs. And let's say 70% of Americans do not believe in UFOs. And nobody made a single move of the needle when the Pentagon released this information. So even if the president said today there is going to be an EMP May 23rd, the country will not believe him. No, Carol, didn't cut me off. I'm in rural Spain, and my internet goes out every once in a while. I do have fiber here, so I have bandwidth galore, but every once in a while the internet just drops out. No, Shu. No, UFOs are not man-made. Again, your opinion, I appreciate that, and I hate to say no, Shu. That's just the way I talk, brother, and don't take offense to it. Let me tell you something. I know Donald Trump like the back of this aging hand. And if Donald Trump had a big ass stick to swing around like the things that a UFO could do, he would have that declassified and he would be flying one. And there'd be a big, beautiful American flag on the side of it. There is nothing at all that could stop Trump from claiming UFOs are his, if they are in fact ours and man-made. Let me assure you of that. Let me assure you, Donald Trump wants that technology. If he could make a deal for it, what you want? Or let me give you the what you want is my southern version. Donald Trump. Hey, how are you? Yep. Oh yeah, I'm the orange man and everything. How much for that? Okay, how much? I gotta think about it. This is the number I'm thinking, and if you could throw in ... then yeah, I'll take it too. No, it's not an unarmed vehicle. It's not an unmanned vehicle. It's definitely manned and controlled somehow because of its reaction time. There's just so many, tons and tons and tons of UFO videos coming out now. And that's what happens. That's why I was really making the point about the Muslim star, the star and the crescent Venus of Islam is the prophet was told, listen, when technology gets to the point that they can see the planet that is in orbit with Earth, in between Earth and Venus, when they can get the optics, when they can get the technology, when they can get telescopes to the point where they can see this event in the sky, and then a star, and it's happening May 23rd, and you have been told this generation after generation. Ramadan didn't just start, this month. It's not a new thing. It's a very, very old tradition, and you have these two comets intersecting and having a grand event on the end of Ramadan, a very holy day for Muslims, May 23rd. You just don't see the coincidences aren't there. I mean, there's no coincidence. This is manifested. So there you go. All right. How is Spain? Spain is marvelous if you're Spanish. If you're Spanish and you understand the Spaniards and you have Spanish blood in you, you understand Spain and understand it clearly. If you are not Spanish, if you come here as tourists and you fall in love with Spain and you want to live here, your love affair will end, and the reality of what life is in Spain will become apparent. You can't have a very successful career here. It's a very socialist nation, and you get taxed to your eyeballs. You can't. It's just so hard to start a business. Bureaucracy here makes the Pentagon go, yeah. The most favorite word of any bureaucrat here in Spain is no. They don't have to justify it. All I have to say is no until you have enough pushback to make them say yes. We are not an efficient people. Efficiency is not what we do here well at all. If you want your refrigerator here today, that's not going to happen. If you want your refrigerator here tomorrow, you have to make an amazing case and scream loudly to make it happen. You can't pay me extra to bring that refrigerator. It's a matter of pride. But you'll probably get it someday next week, and we'll laugh about it, and we'll bond over the experience, and we'll talk, and we get to know each other, and we'll find out that our families are from the same area, and that, oh no, your uncle so and so is related to so and so. I mean, we are related. I mean, and that's just what it is to be Spanish. You have to know your entire family lineage. So, as many of you know, I've come out of the closet. My name is Charles Chambers. In America, I'm Charles Anthony Chambers in America. In Spain, I am Andoni Lauzirica Zaragondegui Echezabal y Aguirre. So that way, those are my four family names. And anyone in the Basque country can pretty much zone in what area of the Basque region I am. And if you're old enough, you'll know exactly what town I'm from. So that living in Spain is great for me because I've just been raised this way. It drives anybody else nuts from the Western world. If you're a first world country, it's complicated. And you have to speak the language. You have to speak the language. You have to speak the Castilian Spanish. You can't speak American Spanglish, and it's hard if you speak Central American Spanish because it's like a British person talking to a Southern person. If you have, great example, Epic. I mean, you bring somebody from Liverpool to New Orleans. It's going to take about a week for those two to be able to talk to each other. It's good. 48 hours, a couple days. But any British person that has gone to England can testify that Americans don't speak English. And I will go to one of mine, and this is definitely outing me. Probably my hero. My number one hero of all time is Sir Winston Churchill. And he said it so perfectly. America and Great Britain are two great countries divided by a common language. All right, I'm going to keep the live stream up. I'm going to take a break because I got to take a water break and get something to drink. And do a little bathroom break and refreshing myself, maybe brighten my eyes a little bit, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to mute, and then I'll get into the comments section since there's a delay there. So the stream is going to stay up, I'm going to mute the microphone and put it down and then catch up with all the comments and questions. Oh, hold on. All right, I'm back, and that was Emma Cat. She did not pee on my She did not pee on my sofa. See, that's that. And I'm just gonna pick on you, Shu. Maybe your cat is just voicing their opinion about some of your. Oh, Thea, shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. If you're going to experience Shabbat tomorrow. But maybe that's just your cat expressing some of her opinions or their opinions and agreeing with the Breadcrumbs Project and disagreeing with you. Just picking. Yeah, that's Emma. She's 14 years old. She was abandoned here in Spain by a friend of mine who couldn't live here in Spain. She tried. She was an American, but just fell in love with the country, like I was talking about, and looks at Spain as a tourist. And when you live in a country, when you actually live in a country and live with the people, you're not a tourist anymore. You have to understand cultures. And Emma is from America. She traveled. She was brought here and then abandoned here. And she's been with me ever since. She's 14 years old. She's amazing. She hates being held. She hates being touched. So yes, she has some of those issues. I am the property of the cat. I am epic. So yeah, and Thea, I'm a dog person. I had a border collie since he was a puppy, and I had him. I had him in my hands within 6 hours of him being born. I just missed him being born because I was out at Ruth's Chris's having a fabulous dinner, and upon hearing of his birth, raced over to the house, and I got the runt of the litter because I got a good deal on him. But the owners knew that I'm a dog person, and they knew I trained dogs and was very good at dog training. And they said, once you have a border collie, you'll never have another dog. It's just different. And of course, I'm like everybody. I'm a skeptic. I have my own beliefs. A dog is a dog is a dog. I had a dog. I had a collie, a Sheltie. She was wonderful. I love Shelties. And then I had a bunch of mutts along the way and a couple of pure breeds that I helped train. But then I got a border collie, and I trained him. And there's nothing like a border collie. I could have that dog drop 200 yards. Just a command, down, drop, all fours, stay. And he'll stay there. I could have him stay for a good 30 minutes, and then he'd just get really bored and really mad and would just start creeping up to me. But we did our exercises, and that border collie, I could make it go left, right, back, forward, drop it down. I could have it find people. I'd teach it people's names. Go find Lisa, go find Will, and we'd be at a garden party. And, most dogs aren't allowed at garden parties. Well, everybody knew Aiden, and of course he could come. Charles, not so much, but Aiden, yeah, you can go ahead and come. Breadcrumbs can be a little much at parties because he gets talking like stuff like this. So, but Aiden was always welcome to any party, especially garden parties at a very swanky house. And I could go tell him, go find Will, go find Lisa, and Aiden would just stream off, go sit by the person, and wag his tail. And the person knew that, oh, Charles has sent you to find me, and so I'll go find Charles, because usually it was I was going to tell us something, and I had some story to tell. So, but it was just a great trick. Anything that I could just get that dog to do, he would do. It was bull terriers, epic. Talk about being owned. I'm sure those Stratford Terriers are not spoiled. I know they're not spoiled. They're not. So training a border collie taught me about training people, taught me a lot about training children and other people and working with other people. And I haven't had a dog since that border collie passed. I really want another one. So hopefully after this is all over, and if everything's good, Then I'll get a Border Collie if everything goes the way I predict it's going to go. I'm going to get another Border Collie. But hopefully we can all speak the same language. One of the things, let me talk about speaking the same language. One of those things that struck me a long time ago, and this is really before I really read the Old Testament, read the Torah, read the Bible. It took me 10 years to read the Bible from cover to cover. It's so intense. There's so much that you have to wrap your head around. And if you read the Torah and if you don't back it up by the archaeology, the true archaeology and the true civilizations that lived back then there's just no way that you can understand the Torah. It is a book through time. So you have to understand time and the days that it was written in, and the days prior to it was written, and the days prior that it speaks of in Genesis. So without reading the Bible, I was thinking about things one day, and then I had been watching for about 3 or 4 or 5 weeks those television shows where it's man against nature. There was a real big time in History Channel where they had Bear Grylls. How tough are you against Bear Grylls? Can you survive like Bear Grylls? And they had people surviving in nature, and many of them had many modern tools. And not a lot of them, they didn't have guns, but they had knives, and they had to make fishing implements and all of that and survive on their own. I thought, damn. I mean, I've gone hunting, and it's hard. Hunting is hard. And going back to primitive ways, hunting is even harder. Much, much harder. So, for the most part, in antiquity, we were truly agrarian societies. In England, old England, you had people that farmed small tracts of land, and you see that in the archaeology. Oh, epic, don't get me started on Time Team. Don't get me started on Time Team. Don't even get me started on that. But that taught me so much. So you had rows, because we were an agrarian society for thousands of years. That's how we survived. Occasionally we would have meat, but it wasn't until that big change in England after the plague that the gentry could figured out that they could raise mutton on the land, and so they started getting rid of their sharecroppers, which is a fair share of income, but they were growing meat, which was premium. That's like being an oil baron right now. If you had a huge flock of sheep and you were putting out mutton every day, then you had people buying that. So we were agrarian until we became a meat-eating society, and so we've evolved in that sense. And so, Carol, your ancestors are from Spain? Drop me an email. Let me know which part, the Breadcrumbs Project at gmail.com. What are my thoughts about the sun? I'm getting back to the comments. I'm sorry if I've lost train of thought, but I lose track of the comments here for a second. Let me scroll back. I talked about the dogs and Border Collies. If you can't handle a Border Collie, if you do not know how to train a dog, if you do not have endless energy and know how to say the word no a lot, do not get a Border Collie. Solar charger. Good to have a solar charger. Let's talk more religion and astronomy stuff. You got it, Shu. There are good dogs, very friendly, but get a bad rap because they're brilliant. It's hard having a genius under the roof. It's hard having an energetic genius under the roof. And you have to train a Border Collie. They want to be trained because that's the way they can speak to you. Once you train them, they know what language you're talking. If you can't speak Spanish in Spain, you're going to have a hard time surviving. If you can't speak high-level dog, then you're going to have a hard time with a Border Collie. And it's not going to be a very good relationship. It's not going to be the best relationship you can have. So once you train a dog to speak your language, which actually what you're doing is speaking their language, because you teach them through consistency, love, and discipline. Discipline being number one. They have to respect you. A border collie has to respect you. It has to know that you can take out anything that could do damage to it. So my border collie was a runt of the litter. It was really a nervous dog, but I was already a trainer, and I trained a rescue Sheltie that was under my bed for a week after I had rescued it, and the conditions were horrible. And the one person I knew that could train a Sheltie or any collie gave me the best advice in the whole world, and that is give that dog discipline, give that dog character, give that dog self-respect. You only get self-respect not through here's a treat, here's a treat, here's a treat. Come on, what can you do? Let's build that muscle. Let's build that character. Let's get in the gym. Let's work out. Let's do a little bit of fighting. If you know how to street fight, you can walk the street. Come on, let's do this. And I worked that dog, and I roughed housed her, and I put her on her back, and I gave her all the insecurities that nobody would normally give a dog. But then I let her know that she could work her way out of it. I always showed her how she could work her way out of it. I showed her that we can roughhouse and it didn't hurt. Like the first month of roughhousing, she was always biting me and attacking me like, no, 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 no. And then the second month, she was like, all right, this is good. This is fun. The third month, she was like, let's roughhouse. Come on. She was nudging me, bumping me, and let's do this. Let's have some. All right. Because her confidence was built up. So you build a dog's confidence by roughhousing. You don't build it by treats. You don't train by treats because the dog is doing that work for the treat. So they'll do all the tricks in 1 minute that they know as long as they get that treat. If you're talking to the dog and you can train a dog without a treat, then you're communicating with the dog. And if the dog will do what you want it to do, then it understands what you want. All right. Going back through this stream. Yeah, Charles is a fine Spanish name. No, you can't call me Charlie and you can't call me Chuck. My mom hated those names, Shu. And it doesn't bother me really. It bothers my mom who is deceased, and so you'll have to deal with her on the spiritual side. She's full-blooded Basque, man. There's one person I would not fuck with this in this world. I fuck with a lot of people. I get on a lot of people's nerves. There's one woman that once I cross that line, no. Yeah, Carlos. Carlos is the Spanish version. My mom hated Carlos as well because of King Carlos. We're Basque. So I will always Charles. All right. Yeah, all the van life, dog van life. I haven't checked out your channel. I've been really busy. How did all of the governments know to sing the same song? Because all of the intelligence agencies are connected. So this started in China, and it metastasized in China, and so it instantly became a secret agencies event. Every country, Stasi, the Spanish have their secret agencies, and of course the CIA doesn't have the America doesn't have just one secret agency. It has 7 secret agencies, and there's only one secret agency that counts. There's 2 actually. There's 2 secret agencies that counts. NSA and the Pentagon secret agency. That's right. The Pentagon has its own secret agency. That's why the whole thing of the UFOs, when that ball began to roll, they talked to their spooks, and their spooks were telling them what's up. So the way to get all of the countries, because all the spooks talk, all the spooks around the world, they talk, and they're connected, they're interconnected, because that's the beauty about being a spook, man. That you know something that nobody else does, and you can glean information, and you can inject information into the political system. So so the spooks talk, and so there's things happening in China, And, America's not saying anything. Nothing's happening in America. So it shouldn't be that bad. Holy crap. What's going on in Spain? Holy shit. What is going on in Italy, in northern Italy? Oh my God. I mean, the pandemic, oh, boom, 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 boom. And so the pandemic spread. And once the pandemic started making the news, here comes America. Boom. Put the lockdown on. Someone got to the president. Someone high up, more than a medical officer, got to the president and said, shut it down. Donald Trump doesn't make a move on his own. He's the one that makes the final determination, and he's going to make that determination stick. But everybody that's ever worked for Donald Trump says he's a wonderful man, and he listens to what everybody says. Here's the beauty about Donald Trump, and I've known this for a long time, and if you watch the documentary of them servicing his plane, Trump Force One. It's a fabulous documentary. It gives you an insight into Trump. So when Trump goes, he's in real estate, trading real estate, buying, selling real estate. That's where you make your real money, because that's not Silicon Valley money. That's not oil money. Oil money comes and goes. Silicon Valley money comes and goes. Real estate, cash is king. Second thing to cash is property. So he has a lot of property, and he doesn't really need a lot of banking. Banks come screaming to him because he can secure any loan that he wants to with as many properties as he has. I mean, he's got collateral that just makes a banker drool. So all the people that work for him always say that he always asks probing questions and always looks for the right and true answer, not the answer that feels good. And he doesn't ask his managers the questions. Donald Trump is not a person that listens to managers. Managers do. Managers manage. When he built a building, he'll come in one day and he'll walk through the building and he'll talk to every worker at that construction site. He'll shake their hands. He'll look them in the eye. Tell me about this building. What are you doing? Are they paying you good? Are you getting good wages? What about these materials? I don't want subpar materials at my site. Is this the best material that's on the market? I'm paying premium for this Trump Tower. So the sheetrock, I don't want that cheap Chinese cut rate sheetrock. I want good old American sheetrock. So if I have a problem with it, I can call that guy in, and I want to pay for it in a manner that when I call, he'll pick up the phone. Yes, no, Mr. Trump, I got to tell you, sir, I have worked with this product. I've worked with this company all of my adult life. My grandpa knows the company. I mean, that's how we started with this product. I mean, it's gotten better over the years, but no, sir, no, they stand by it. No. All right, that's great. How's your family? You married? How's your children? Because Donald Trump is one of those people that when he talks to you, like Bill Clinton, like every great CEO and every great president, he makes you or she feel like you're the only person in the room, and what you're saying, I mean, like, man, y'all been friends forever. I mean, this is real legit, because he puts his arm on you. He's a germaphobe. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be doing that. But this is the way he makes millions. So he's got to shake that hand. And after he shakes all his hands, I mean, he does it in public. He's like, I don't want to catch that cold. Is he coughing over there? Is that guy coughing? You better get him off this. You don't have to work today, man. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. No, you're off. You're off. Take your germs elsewhere. So that's Donald Trump. Okay? And so for him to say UFOs, for him to close the country down, somebody at high levels had to give him some information that is not available to us. And that's what made him make the decision. Make spring... hey, bizarre meme, how are you? Make spring great again? No. These guys are, I mean, a hairpin away from being the conquistadors again. How was Spain able to do what very few countries have been able to do effectively, and that's shut it down? These people are militant, man. So, if there's a war to fight and Spaniards are involved in the war, they're going to fight it to win. So it took about 48 hours to explain to the Spaniards on television what the hell this was, what the hell they needed to do, and these Spaniards locked down tight. And if you were walking the street, you didn't have to worry about the cop. Grandmother was yelling at you. Ponte, ¿qué haces aquí? ¿Qué haces en la calle? Tú la casa. No me vas a enfermar. ¿Quién eres tú? I mean, they go like that. You know, they leave Spain the way they are. Once they aspire to greatness, then they're coming for the borders and the shores. They are, my people are tough, especially the Basques. All right. Good to see you, Bazaar. You've done some great stuff. And Van Life, good to see you too. Shu, you're awesome. Stonehenge, England. Man, I'm not ready for that yet. Yeah, Van Life, Stonehenge. Stones aren't human. I thought that foolish until I moved here to Mushia. And I think the stone could very well be alive, if not a conduit. Laugh all you want. So, Shu, I mean, there's another thing that we can disagree about. Thank you for the cat. Shalom. Runts. Just going through all the comments, making sure I haven't missed anything. Yeah, the Bible is, the Jews love to argue. The Jewish people, the tribe, they love to argue. So that book has been argued over and over again. If they can't prove it, it didn't go in there. All right. It just bounced me. I'm just going through this. I always see YouTubers doing this on live sessions, and now I absolutely get it, how that goes. I'm sorry if I miss anything. There's Time Team on a house near me. We live on an ancient Saxon burial ground. Oh Jesus, Lord have mercy, girl. You know, if you're on an ancient Saxon burial ground, then there is something more religious and important underneath it, because the Saxons did all of their settlements on top of Celtic stuff. I mean, it's just, you know, you go a little bit deep. I mean, you scratch off England, and I mean, you're going back to the beginning of civilization. Will the spark light of the heavens be enough to see the dark planets close to the Earth? Yes, Shane. Yes. The cosmic light could cause the dark planets close to the Earth to be seen. Purple Mambo, hello. Ah, very good, Purple. Yeah, go ahead and store it. And again, all you have to do is boil it. Boiled water is good to go. I would have more wine than water, though, because wine keeps and is more fun. When the EMP hits, you're going to be bored, and wine's more interesting than water. Hey, Bryce. Welcome to the family. Yeah, this world isn't butterflies and rainbows, baby. It's a rough and tumble. Thank you, Carol. You have been the bomb since this channel started to take off. You have been, and May the 13th, you're the one that clued me into May the 13th, and I think I'm going to celebrate that with the list that came out. And that was just great. May the 13th, the Q, and the unmasking, and that has meaning with all of this too. Unicorns and rainbows. I know. No, I don't know any crypto. No way I trust currency on a server. Nope, nope, no. I'm a network engineer, and just the idea of it alone says crypto is a house of cards. Yes. So Shane, good question. I hope I answered it. Shu, unicorns do not fart. Women and unicorns do not fart. Carol, my cat is 14 years old. It was abandoned, so I got her at 14, and she's had a great life. We'd had so much fun together. Yeah, if pants can't contain a fart, how are you going to contain a virus? Basically the same size. Yeah, I've got a good link for N95 diapers if you need some. And if you use my promo code, you get 10% off. That's for you, 10,000 Lakes. Dean Coombs, Comet Swarm will crush its head, symbolically speaking. It could, Thea. Dean Coombs, I'm not going to discount that. Oh, okay. Floria, you are in Quebec. Okay, now the French. Fier de Floria. All right. Okay, now I get it. French. Fier, I did not get a chance to check. I'll do that right now since I'm on the computer and I'm going through the comments. Breadcrumbs. No, I did not. Make sure it is the breadcrumbsproject@gmail.com. I know it's long, but it's the only way I could get that email because I'm so late in the game. I've gotten an email from Breadcrumbs. From Breadcrumbs. I've gotten an email from 10,000 Lakes and from Shepard yesterday for the interview, which went really well. So please try again. Please try again. Resend anything. The breadcrumbs with the S project@gmail.com. All right, back to the stream and answering questions. Hey, Canada, hosers. That's from the 80s. Thea, I have no problem with Atlas being Chief Titan from the first book of Enoch. I think this is tied to all of that. Mud Fossil University is an amazing person, and his science is very, very strong. I have no qualms with what he is saying. Some issues because you get pushed around a lot, but the fundamentals of what he talks about, I'm down with it. Data and Richard talking about a new comet, sixth comet, inbound, U6, Lemon. Year of the comet. Well, it's Chinese year of the rat. By the way, since one of my job involves Chinese students and teaching Chinese students, I was told by one of my students that year of the rat is not a good year in Chinese mythology, and I use the word mythology strongly. Not that it's a not true myth, but it's just the story of the people that has been handed down. So the year of the rat is never ever good to the Chinese. That's why they really don't celebrate it. And you don't see, the year of the pig is a great year, fat, and everybody lives good, and children have little pigs, and there was just all the little pigs. Stuffed animals were huge, and all the my students were showing me some of their pigs. And then rat, nothing. And they try to call it year of the mouse now. But this is a word of this is a year of bad omens to the Chinese. If I have any Chinese people, please back me up on this or tell me that I'm wrong. Good to have you in the live stream, Data. That's excellent. Thank you so much for all of. You're one of my breadcrumb producers. You leave a nice trail of breadcrumbs for me to follow often. Sometimes it goes the way I think, and sometimes it goes the other way. But the crumbs that you leave are always good and sustain the investigation. Yeah, Shu, more comments. Carol, Madrid. So your family are madrileños. Madrileños. Yo soy Vasco. I'm Vasco, in the northern part of Spain. And Madrid is the center of Spain, and it was created basically by the Romans because they needed a center of distribution for everything. So Madrid is a wonderful city, and if you're going to live in Spain, I recommend you live in Madrid. That's as close as you're going to get in the West. Living in Spain. If you live in the outskirts, you better speak good Spanish. If you speak Basque or Catalonian or Galician, then live in those provinces and you'll be wonderful. You'll do fine. You'll understand everything. More comets, people. The year of the comets. Yes, that is my email address. And send me something now. And I'll check. Two charged fields passing each other at incredible speed. Your thoughts, Shane? You're a little late to the feed, but I spent about a good hour in the last live session. We're going on 3 hours of a live. Two great projectiles. These are the projectiles. Rock, going at great speed with kinetic energy, like fields going through an opposite and equal field. There's going to be a massive discharge when those two fields begin. When they intersect, they're going to begin their energy buildup, and the pop that happens once the energy finally discharges is going to be spectacular. We're going to see bright red sky. Then we're going, because the red shift, so red, the color red is going to be coming to us faster than any other color. Then we're going to hear the sound. It's going to be a great sound. And then we'll ultimately get the EMP effect. And the best thing for us to do during that time is to be indoors. So we will get warning, Shane, but that's going to generate the EMP. And I have several videos too that speak of this. Yes, a cage has to be completely enclosed. Faraday cage has to be completely enclosed by metal, has to be completely enclosed by an insulator, and then should also be enclosed by another layer of metal. And the more insulation metal you can put between the event and what you're trying to protect, the more it'll be protected. Chinese mythology, may you live in interesting times. We are certainly living in interesting times now. Time frame between the flash boom and the EMP, I would say within a day or two. I would say 1 or 2 days. Kelly. Hi, Kelly. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the Breadcrumbs Project. Yeah, I'm still going. I can talk a lot, and we've had some great people join in. So it's great. Yeah, it's great that Data 1B4 made an appearance. Shoo. May you live in interesting times is a curse. Wow. I still think, yes, we live in interesting times. Metal steel garbage can, sure. Make sure you have an insulation and then another metal covering it, like a microwave. Microwave is the best thing. No, I did not. My mother married an American, and we ended up with his blood, because if you intermarry, Rh negative is very weak. So I'm a B positive. So yeah, Rh negative is a very, very tricky protein, and it doesn't play well with others. So if you're not there, they don't want to be there either. I am stubborn like a Basque, obviously. Yeah, no, the lag is amazing, and part of that is because my laptop is not a very fast laptop, so so I need to upgrade that. If nothing happens, I'll be upgrading my laptop. I mean, I still have plenty of other science to talk about besides the EMP, but the EMP really does suck the air out of the room. Carol G, message retracted. Yeah, I mean, if you misspell something, the best thing you can do is just delete it, and then I'm sure Carol will rewrite whatever she was thinking. All right, but yeah, there is 10-minute lag into what I'm producing to what you're seeing. Shane, electric motor requires a starting capacitor. Just exactly what would you say it is starting? An electric motor requires a capacitor. Yeah, an electric motor requires a capacitor because you have to take that small bit of energy, build it up, and put a big bang into those spark plugs to create big explosions. So if your car is not running during the EMP event, it should be okay. You should be able to start it after the EMP. All right. I heard you talk about 10-minute lag. Yes. Uh, Electronic items in the microwave on the 23rd. Yes, yes. Kelly, make sure you unplug it though. Make sure you unplug it. I don't know if there will be a surge that'll come through the wires. I doubt it, but just to be safe, unplug your microwave. And no, don't do it on the 23rd. Don't automatically do it, because if this does happen, you're going to see the event occur. So you're going to see the great flash of light. You see a great flash of light in the sky like you've never seen before. Get that stuff in the microwave, unplug that bad boy, stay indoors, open a bottle of wine, whiskey, scotch, and just wait for it. And just stay indoors. I have 2 months of supplies built up. I have pulled most of my cash out of the banks, and that's just fine. That doesn't have any great impact on my life. If nothing happens, I don't have to go shopping for a couple of months except for fresh meat, veggies. And if something does happen, I'm going to be very comfortable. If nothing happens, I can put that cash right back in the bank, and they'll be happy to take it. If something does happen, I have cash on hand, and my economy will be okay. Absolute yes. Prayer is the one good thing that you can do. Your faith will carry you through what comes. You will know what's happening. A giant green storm. Absolute yes. Yeah, I mean, people of faith are connected, man. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, Spanish blood, they say that it transmits well. It really doesn't transmit well. The Celtic blood didn't transmit well. Galician blood doesn't transmit well. Basque blood doesn't transmit well either. Shane, feed them cows. You're doing the right thing. The lives are always recorded and are available for playback. It's just distorted. The difference between a video and a live is a video I prepare a script and I can do one topic and do some graphs and do fine. Unfortunately for a live, it's just stream of thought. I can't hear what you guys are saying. I have to read it in the comments section, and that allows me to to speak back. Hi, Arthur Karwat. Arthur Karwat, welcome, welcome, welcome. Greetings from Poland. Okay, Karwat. My Polish is so bad. Karwat. Arthur, welcome. Arthur, welcome. Yay, man. Yeah, all of us are seeing the same thing. If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, and it has feathers like a duck, then it's going to be a duck. So if the government, if NASA isn't speaking loudly and demanding video and airtime and trying to lift the nation out of this virus with this great space event, I mean, look at what we have happening around America right now. The U.S. military is doing their damnedest to lift the spirits of the Americans by doing flyovers and doing pomp and circumstance and letting them know, giving them security. So if NASA could just, get a little bit of that and say, look at these comets and look at what wonderful things are happening, and let me tell you about this, and let me tell you about that, and look at all these pictures that we have coming from all of the telescopes that are trained on this amazing space event. We've never had comets like this in our current memory. If NASA and JPL are not running over humans to get in front of those cameras, then something's wrong. Something's really, really wrong. And I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at. I just know that something is not right, and it's not something right bigly. And I'm not mad at them. You have a job to do to protect and defend a nation. And we already saw with a good, and I would almost say that was a trial balloon. The UFO thing was a great trial balloon that nobody gave notice to. You know, some deep operatives in the U.S. government know that a big event is happening. They've been talking to the president. He's been signing orders. So that breadcrumb trail is there. And they said, well, this is happening the 23rd. Might as well admit to aliens and see if people are ready for this. Pentagon. And the Pentagon did their initial release in September 2019. So they didn't first release this year. It was last year, at the end of last year, that they did a press release. And crickets. I didn't hear anything about it. Nobody talked about it. Nothing. They re-released it again to a small blurb that I saw a re-release, and then it came out of the White House. So, the small blurb that they did was 2 months before the president acknowledged the UFO tapes. Congress was in a secret briefing of UFOs, and it wasn't a mandatory briefing. It was only those people who wanted to attend that attended the briefing. So they were briefed that these tapes are coming out, and we are acknowledging these tapes, that they are authentic. Can you tell us anything else? No. Because that's what you do with Congress. You tell Congress nothing. Because you tell Congress one thing, it will come out, and it will come out not the way you meant it. So that's the problem with Congress. The sun is on my shirt right here. So sorry getting that colorization splash. And I can fix that in a minute if it becomes a problem. So that's just how government works. If somebody in intelligence comes to talk to you and tells you something, and this person is high up in the food chain, then you listen and then you do. That's Trump. He can do that. So that is, the intelligence community is aware of this. So the intelligence community said, you can tell people that UFOs are real, and they're not going to believe you because they just have too much going on. They don't have anywhere to even place that. They don't have a container to even take that information in and drop it in there and even think about it. It just goes out because we've been conditioned for so long UFOs aren't real. And even if a UFO and an alien jumped up on your lap and slapped you and you weren't of that mindset, you'd be like, I don't know what this is, but it's not a UFO and it's not an alien. So the government cannot warn us until it's actually time to do it. And that's why there's so much push to stay. I think, and this is strictly my opinion, that the push to stay in that slow release of that phased quarantine release is to just keep people as close to home as possible until the event happens and everybody can stay inside and be protected. Lori, put the electronics in their cage when you see the light event happen. It is not going to be a secret event. It'll be the 22nd and the 23rd. If this does happen, it will be a huge visual flash when the comets intersect. So when you see a light that you've never seen before in the sky, you just slip those things up in that into your Faraday cage, whether it's a microwave or your refrigerator, your deep freezer, and just unplug it, and just not use it for that day. That's why I wouldn't say a refrigerator, but even the refrigerator, I would probably unplug that because, if a refrigerator is running and those motors, I don't know about a refrigerator. I wouldn't want to get it popped. What is the domino effect of an EMP of this potential size on society at large? It just means we go back to nature for, a month or two. Economy will still happen. Food will still be grown. The animals will still be slaughtered. it'll just the creator, the person that's generating this EMP just wants our undivided attention for a few moments so that they can reveal themselves. The mask comes off, like the Hope tradition says, that we're all going to be of one understanding rather than all the arguing that we're having. That's what the new age is all about. Purple Mambo. A lot of us have Spanish relationships. Spaniards are lovers. They get around. All right. Let's see. Absolute. I'm glad this is worthwhile for you. All right. Fia, I'll check the emails in a minute. Yeah, we've even had a comet impact or an asteroid impact drill 3 months ago that nobody knew about. Breadcrumbs. No, not the car engine. Ultron. I'm asking the sun and planets will act like they are a motor. The sun and planets, Shane, are an electric motor. Learn about the electric universe. The Thunderbolts of the Gods documentary will open your eyes. So the entire universe is an electric motor, and the sun is an electric motor, basically. That by its nature, it draws in fast-moving electrons and protons, and those fast-moving electrons and protons, and just different anything that can attract, anything they can bring in with its gravitational pull, hits that corona and then just bounces on out like a combustion engine. So it creates energy like an engine does. So when those particles hit at one speed, the corona of the sun, not the surface of the sun, the corona of the sun is 1,000,000 degrees, and it just bounces out super fast, and that's what we see with white light. We're seeing pure energy. Oh, that was such a great dance song, and Leonard Nimoy, God rest his soul, and may he be in the book of life, because he was a great Jew. But that dance song, pure energy, pure energy. That's what comes out of the corona of the sun. You have stuff that hits the corona of the sun and is one thing, and then after it gets that burn, it bursts out and it's pure energy. So you have Einstein's equation happening at the surface of the sun. So you have an electron, you have a neutron, you have a hydrogen particle that or an oxygen particle that comes racing towards the sun because of that gravitational pull. Then it hits that corona and then it explodes, and then you have 2 times the speed of light coming to us from the sun. And then by the time it passes I'm going to say Mercury, then it is slowed down to the speed of light, and that's what we get is light and heat from those events. Hot pockets. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Where am I in 977 subs? I know, Epic. It's exciting. Thank you all very much for subbing to this channel and making this long talk possible. Epic, no, the most powerful force in the universe is electricity. Electricity is the most powerful force in the universe. I've been married 2 times. Love is amazing. Love is not sustainable. Electricity is sustainable. Oh, that was a pretty good one. I'm not bitter. I'm just I'm more interested in many other things than love. Love has its own disappointments. All right, let me check those emails. Yes, I got your emails. All right. Fie de Floria, I've got your emails, and yay, very good. Thank you so much. All right, I'll respond to them. People have known extraterrestrials, actual demons are real forever, simply no reaction. Yeah, our government lies. That's what you do as a politician. Politicians lie. I don't have a Megatron. Maybe I'll use, aluminum foil. Thea, aluminum foil, cardboard box, and then line the inside with aluminum foil. And then I'd put maybe a blanket or a towel just to make sure that there's no metal contact between the devices. I mean, it won't hurt, but the more insulation you can put between your initial metal aluminum foil around a cardboard box, and then another layer of aluminum foil inside the cardboard box, and then you've just got a very well-established Faraday cage. And if it's inside your house, then you're going to do just fine. Yeah, Arthur, you're right. 90% of cars will work. It's only the cars that are actually running during the event that will have a problem. So as long as all the cars are parked, everything's parked, if nothing's running, then they will not be affected by the EMP. You have to have electricity and current going through the device to actually have it affected by the EMP, or it's got to be super sensitive. Cell phones and laptops, I don't think your TV will get really affected because it also has a lot of shielding. But anything that is electric and sensitive that you want to keep to play music and watch videos that you've downloaded on, just protect them. Just protect them. Yep, Data. You can wrap things in heavy aluminum foil, but have some insulation. Have some insulation in between that aluminum foil and your device. So aluminum foil, insulation, more aluminum foil. And you can just use a towel, something that is insulation that will not pass the energy from one surface to the other electric surface. Oh no, God didn't create Satan. They're all the same family. The idea of Satan, especially in the Jewish tradition, is not how Christianity looks at it. All the gods are all of the same family, and if you're part of a family, you got good family, you got bad family, you got pains in the asses, and you got joys to be with. The gods are the same way. And the one God that the God of the Hebrews, again, the Hebrew God, the God of the Jews, did not say, I'm everybody's God. No. He said, look, I am taking my people, which are these pain in the neck. They're stiff-necked people. They're aggravating people. I know they're aggravating, but they're just my people. So I have to take you out of Egypt. No, Egypt, I'm not your God. You have your gods. I'm their God. And I need them out. Okay, you're not cool with it? I got to kick your ass? 10 plagues, and then we'll be done. I'll have them out by 10 plagues. You're laughing. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I take the firstborn, because the firstborn is important. Don't anybody think twice about who a firstborn is. They are very important, especially to Pharaoh. So once that happened, Jews, you get out of here. Take your God, take all your pestilence, take everything that you're talking about, and get it out of here. I don't want any of that. Oh God, you just took my middle class. You took my revenue-generating people. Now I got to get that back. I need that gold. I need that money. I need that. I need all that back. Oh no, the Red Sea, and there you go. 40 years in the desert after, because the Jews are stiff-necked people, so they made life hell for God in the desert, and so they even worshipped another being, even though he just freed them, because the Jews are pain in the neck people. So they had to suffer, and that's their story. The God of the Jews laid claim to nobody else on the planet. All of us lay claim to him because he is the best that has left a message of who he is and of creation and of a deity. But it's only through Torah that we as Christians and as Muslims can worship that God. But we have to understand there are many gods in his day. Yeah, the Old Testament, Genesis. There's a lot of gods. So that you need to read that word for word. Breadcrumbs, 186,000 miles per second. Resistance to sound is faster. We should hear the spark first. The trumpet. It'll be the trumpet, but I think we're going to see the light. I think light travels faster than sound. So there's nothing faster than the speed of light, and the fastest light is red light. So I think, and this is great discussion. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not saying I'm right. I am saying I'm right. Kidding. But speed of light is the fastest light we have, and sound is like I say 186,000 miles per second, and it's traveling in a vacuum, so it can in a semi-vacuum, so it can travel at speed. So yeah, we're going to hear the spark, whether it's first or second. We're going to hear it. We're going to know it before it hits. Space Force. How did that come around? I mean, how do you tell Trump, listen, you're going to be... Trump is not a Star Trek fan. He's not a Trekkie. He's not a Star Wars guy. He's a pragmatic man. Somebody had to convince him to create Space Force. His first question is, we've got satellites. We've got NASA. What do I need a Space Force for? Well, sir, let's go into the double secret room and I can explain it to you. Come out of the double secret room and he's like, I have just authorized the creation of Space Force. It's going to be the greatest Space Force on the planet. This is the greatest Space Force ever. Archer, talking about the sun, and maybe you know something about this and anybody else, many of my commenters have talked about the sun is not in the right place where it should be. Yeah, love and gravity are analogous. I mean, there's the law of attraction, and there's positive and negative. That's why I say electricity is more analogous to love than gravity. Gravity is a weak electrical force. Rodney, welcome to the Rodney Upton. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the Breadcrumbs Project. I've been talking about 3.5 hours straight. And having a great time doing it. So electricity is the fundamental force of everything in this planet. Gravity is a weak electrical force. It's a very weak magnetic force. That's what keeps comets together, is a magnetic field. Council of the Gods, sure. Psalms 82, Old Testament. No, New Testament. Psalms is Old Testament. Psalms is Old Testament. Council of the Gods. Archer, your birthday is also May 23rd. I have a very close family member that's birthday is 23rd. And also May 23rd is the end of Ramadan. And part of Ramadan tradition is retelling of the events that will happen in the sky for the end times. You're welcome, Thea. Benjamin, good day. You're up awfully early or you're staying up late. I hope you're staying up late and partying. Welcome to the Breadcrumbs Project. Oh, Elon? Yeah, he's deep in the Area 51 thing. Elon is like Donald Trump. Elon is a great asset to any intelligence community. Donald Trump is a great asset to any intelligence community. If an intelligence officer, an intelligence community can trust you, that's all they need from you is trust and predictability. So you are a great asset to any Secret Service if you can keep a secret and you can work with what you have to do. So, and also, of course, you have to be a resource. They have to need you. So, of course, all the wealthy barons of industry have always had contacts within the secret community. Probably one of the best in the military community. One of the best was Howard Hughes. I mean, the secrets he kept, the secrets that he had, government secrets, meant he could walk around Congress with big brassy balls. It wasn't his money. It was the intelligence community as it was developing then in the United States would let the Congress know, you don't want to push him too hard. He's got stuff that he could say that would affect us. So let him do his show. Just get him the hell out of there. Get him off center stage. Please get him out of Congress. So that's why they had the hearings, and that wrapped up very quickly. And that's why he could get money to do things that he wanted to do, because he was part of that community. All right. So Elon Musk, the secret community needs him. So of course they're going to clue him in, and that's how the secret community. That's their money. That's their currency. Information is how they trade. They trade in secrets. The greater the secret, the greater the value, the more you can ask. All right. Friesland. Oh, Thea, where's Friesland? I'm terrible at geography. And Fide de Flora says about 3 to 4 degrees off. The sun is about 3 to 4 degrees off. That's what a lot of people are saying. I said 15 degrees. I may have been a little bit off on that because I was just browsing the information. Today and yesterday, compass magnetic north moved further in the other direction from north. Things are moving about 3 to 4 degrees. And Fide de Flora, you are in Canada, so you should definitely have a feel about that. I've been speaking about that early in the thread. The sun is in the wrong position. Magnetic north is moving, and we're having massive geological events going on. And I think all of that is affected because a heavy gravity is influencing us. Nikki T, question. Go ahead. Oh, the Netherlands. Oh my gosh, yes. I worked for a Dutch company for a couple of years. Not a Dutch company, but a Dutch organization. A Dutchman actually invented, established the protocol and invented Wi-Fi. And he's an incredibly wealthy man. But him and his group basically pioneered Wi-Fi within the Lucent Corporation, or Bell Labs. Bell Labs, which had a ton of money, bought the rights to his invention, and so I worked for the Dutch for a long time, very hard. Oh my gosh, you Dutch people, man, there's no gray area. It's either right or it's wrong, and if you're in the computer area, you have no gray area. So the Dutch have a great educational system. The people I worked with were far more educated, and sometimes I was talking in areas that I was not fully cognizant in. Oh man, correction came quick and harsh because I should have known. I should have known. All right, Nikki, your question is above. Question: most people will be out of town for Memorial Day weekend. Will they be stuck where they are? Thanks from Texas. Yeah, no. Yes and no. I don't think there's going to be I don't think Memorial Day is going to be as massive as it has been. And I bet you a dime to a donut, and I can tell you that because you're from Texas. I was born in Waco, Texas, by the way, so I'm a Texan. And I think today is the day we celebrate the fact that we allowed the United States of America to join the Texas Union. So this is a great day to celebrate in Texas, or maybe a bad day to celebrate that we allowed the United States to join us. So yeah, I have Texas attitude. I don't think magnetic north is now 19 to 20 degrees out of normal. Guys, do some research on this on your own. Look at magnetic north. FIA has given us some great breadcrumbs here to follow. So I'm going to be doing some research on that tonight and tomorrow. So yeah, people that just like the COVID virus, you're just going to be stuck where you are for a while until you can get home. Shane, you bet. All right. Oh, okay. Okay. I will book your number. All right. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being part of the stream. Let everybody know that you can. So yes, if you're stuck out of town, you're stuck out of town. It'll be inconvenient, just like the people that are stuck out of town for during the COVID. They'll make their way back. They'll make their way. Humans are resourceful, so we will figure things out. All right, 985 subscribers, and this is just excellent. I've had a great conversation with everybody. I think the question stream has slowed down. Anybody else have any other questions? I will give it 10 minutes since there is such a lag. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a quick break right now, and I'm going to mute the microphone, post any final questions that you have, because it is 8 o'clock in the p.m. my time. I am way past wine 30. I should not be this sober this late on a Friday in Spain, people. That's a problem, okay? I don't mind y'all. I don't mind you hanging out. I love each and every one of y'all. The only reason I'm doing this is because it's important. And I wouldn't be this late away from my wine if we didn't have important time before us. All right? So I'm going to be preparing for that. Final questions. And I'll be right back. Go ahead and post them now. And I'm back. All right. Oh, the sun halo. The sun halo is an electrical effect. 10,000 lakes. Thanks for coming back. Um, the sun halo is an electrical effect. Our the sun is a dynamic magnetized ball of energy, giving out energy, and the Earth is also we have a magnetic field around our Earth. So particles get excited. Particles are getting very excited. So this points also to a grand EMP because the halos indicate excited particles in that area of space and of the magnetic field of the Earth interacting. So yes, that points to excited particles. I just tuned in. Are you still thinking the 23rd? Kelly? Hi, Kelly. Thanks for tuning in. Yes, absolutely, the 23rd. And so much we talk about a lot. So catch up on. There's a couple of live streams um, that you can go through today that I've done a really in-depth talk as to why it's the 23rd and what's going to happen and how it's going to happen. So if we had some plans, should we cancel and stay home? Nikki, for this Memorial Day, it wouldn't hurt you to cancel them. But just have a plan to get back home. Make sure, I would drive there if it's Memorial Day, you're probably driving there. You're not flying there. So make sure you have plenty of gas. When you see the light event happen, turn everything off and don't drive your car until well after the sound event happens. So as long as you don't turn on your car is not running, it is protected from the EMP. John 1, Lori's Littles, John 1:3, all things were made by him, clearly, and without him was not anything made that was made. That's plain logic. You can look at this planet, you can look at DNA, and super easy. End of Ramadan. Thea, yes, that's the Islamic prophecies and the Hopi prophecies give the best indications that I feel, and they all correlate to this date and to this interactivity. Thank you, Lori. Thanks for being part of the family. Kelly, yep, 23rd. What if you're outside? Will this affect us? No, we're not affected by electromagnetic events. So we can be close to strong magnets and it does not affect us. But you bring your cell phone while it's on close to a strong magnet and it'll be wrecked. So no, we are not affected, although we are creatures of electricity. We are electrical creatures. We are extremely well insulated. Bryce, do I think that the authorities will alert us? Absolutely 100%. Yes, the authorities will give us fair warning. And it's going to be called a spectacular and unique space event. Please stay home. Don't go out to look at it. This is something like we've never experienced before. So they'll scare the hell out of us. Uh, yeah, I mean, you're going to see a spectacular light. You're going to hear incredible sound. You're going to want to be inside. There's just this is not. It's not going to be like, oh, look at that. It's going to be the fuck. The fuck is that? Get everybody get indoors. What the hell is that sound? So, all of the eschatologies, the end time predictions, talk about bright light and sound. No. Fiat Flora again. We have a certain subset, especially in the American spy network, that knows all. So they would have never, nobody could ever get Trump to admit to UFOs. They got Trump to admit to UFOs. I can't tell you how much that means. Yes, there's a ton of people in government. Most people in government are clueless, but not all. No, Kelly, we have no way of knowing the time of day because it's going to be different for everybody all over the world anyways. So no, I mean, it's going to be a massive electrical event. Uh, don't be skeptical. Don't be skeptical. It's all very planned. And the signal, the stuff that we're going to be seeing in the sky, there's no denying it. You won't even have to listen to the government. You won't even have to listen. It's going to be so spectacular, and it's going to be happening over a period of time that you're going to be like, I'm not coming outside until. Yeah, absolutely. FRBs, Thea, fast radio bursts. Remember, they didn't exist until 2007. Then they've been going off like crazy and more powerful than ever. So they have been in communication with us. That was one of my original in Epic. You remember, I know you remember very well. And 10,000 Lakes. You remember one of my first videos was the FRBs, the fast radio bursts that are coming from space. And every year they got more powerful, more frequent, more powerful. And so they have been in communication with part of our government. The quarantine was a training program. The quarantine was a training program. It was real. It's not a lie. There's a virus, but it was just a training program. Gravitational lensing? 10,000 Lakes? That is not gravitational lensing. I'm sorry. Gravitational lensing will not produce a halo effect. It is energy that we're seeing. The plane are in danger up in the air. No, the planes are not in danger. So we've seen planes get hit by lightning, Carol, and the lightning just goes past them. That's a perfect example of how a Faraday cage works. An airplane is a perfect Faraday cage. So the gravitational electrical effect will just go around it. And just like, and believe me, a bolt of lightning is a focused gravitational electrical event. So really that bolt of lightning is more dangerous to the plane than the EMP. And so, no, anything that's encased in metal is safe. The submarines are safe, ships are safe at sea, and the airplanes will be safe in the ground. Yeah, yeah, you all right? Kelly, illness or is it that just nuke EMP? No, it's a true illness. It's legit. Yeah, Arthur, exactly. That's my one big point that I keep saying. In 1994, I mean, it was just all over the place, and it was predictable. Again, I keep saying I never heard the word unpredictable with comets until two years ago with the arrival of Oumuamua, and then came this other unpredictable comet Borisov, and then now these another brand new comet. We have 5 comets, and all of them are unpredictable. Swan's been unpredictable. Atlas has been notoriously unpredictable. It was coming in fast, then it exploded, then it brightened up again. They don't know. We have 3 crappy pictures from Hubble, so there's something going on, Archer. Your gut feeling is right on the money. We should be hearing loads. History Channel, Space Channel. Discovery Channel should be all over this. I mean, this produces views. What are people doing? They're sitting at home. What are they doing? They're watching TV. Do you think if NASA and JPL and Discovery and History Channel with their space fanatic viewers could capture eyeballs with this great space event, and they're not. There's a reason. There's a reason President Trump asked for the government to prepare for an EMP. There's a reason that the president demanded and put into an executive order that the electrical grids prepare for an EMP. There's a reason that the Department of Defense has put a 180 on the belief of UFOs. There's a reason that the president has allowed for him to be the UFO president. There's a reason that he's the Space Force president. Do you know the mockery that he's suffered for the Space Force thing? I mean, there's been nothing but memes about that. That didn't go well. That's not good PR. Space Force is not exciting. And neither is the UFO thing. That does not get you votes. So he certainly knew he had to do it, but he didn't want to be labeled with it. So he does what you do I don't know how many of y'all been at depositions, but it's not a game finding the truth. Everybody's hiding what they can. So he says, it's something if it's real. Ergo, if it's real, it's something. I'm not going to tell you something that's fake. So what I'm telling you is this is something because it is real. We have said it in the federal government. We have authenticated this. It is legit. All right, so yes, your gut feeling, Artur, is right on the money. Greetings to Poland. Man, I can't wait to come visit Poland. Beautiful place. All right. Hey, Shu, watch several of my videos and you'll become a pro on comets. You'll become very, very knowledgeable about comets. I've got several great videos on it with great graphics too and some music. Brian, no cage needed. Yes and no. It just depends on how much confidence you have being indoors. I'm going to put my iPads, my watch, everything in a Faraday cage that I've created. It's very simple, very crude, and if I have to, I'll pop it right into the microwave. I have no problem with that. So everything that I want to protect in a Faraday cage can fit in a microwave. Thea, there's already an increase in the electrical field. So we see a super bright Venus. Venus is very excited in the electrical field. I mean, it is screaming white. The sun is so bright that you can't even look at it if you're a sun gazer. And we have a halo around the sun, and we have a halo around the Earth. Our inner solar system is in a gigantic, excited electrical state. And I think that these comets have created this electrical state because they are giant electrical events. Nikki, find out how you can on your $2,000 advance. If it's in driving distance, do it. If it's in driving distance, do it. It's just going to be a tension-getting event. It's not going to be an earth-ending event. Yeah, 10,000 likes. I'm with you. I'm with you very much. Just be cognizant of it. Be ready for it. If you're flying, it doesn't matter. Just be cognizant. Be prepared. Have a lot of cash on hand, and have a rental car and enough gas access that you can get back home. Hi, Paul. Yes, Kelly, I did say cars will be okay if they're not running. That is standard on EMP stuff. EMP research has taught us that. How come Brian Cox isn't all over the UK TV? Because Brian Cox thinks that comets are made of ice. He does not believe in electrical events. He does not believe it is an electrical universe. He believes that what we see out there glowing green, that we see out there glowing white, is due to gases and nuclear events and dust. No, Brian, everybody that has a PhD and a master's cannot tell you what they think. They can only tell you what they can regurgitate. All right? So that's why I don't have any experts on the show. That's why I don't call experts on the show. Everybody that has a PhD right now, except for a few that were on the part of the European Union Rosetta Project, those guys, you can't find them. They were big celebs. But once they made the point that a comet is dust and rock, there is no water, ice, there's no water. It's dry dust. Man, Rosetta went off the radar like that. All the science that they produced, and this was landing a craft on a comet. And the true science that came from that event did not agree at all with what NASA and JPL and Brian Cox says and thinks. And the reason we're not getting any information from Brian Cox, Paul, welcome to the channel, love having you, and welcome, is because Brian doesn't have anything to regurgitate. Brian doesn't come up with anything original. Please understand that. He just takes what he's been taught, he just takes what he sees in a book, and then he just does it in his charming way because he was a keyboard player and knows how to be charming in public and manipulate the public. But he doesn't come up with any original thought. You're not allowed to think original thoughts in current education. If you think original thoughts and try to prove them, you're dismissed from your program. They don't want you. You have to make the program head look good. So all of astronomy is built on one of the key principles that it is not an electrical universe. No. Gravity is the strongest force in the universe, not electricity, even though we see it happen all the time. We see electricity being far stronger. Magnets are stronger than any gravity force. Look, these two magnets connect. This force right here, these little two guys, is stronger than the entire planet Earth with its gravity trying to pull these two apart. So no, gravity is not the strongest or most prevalent force in the Earth. It's electricity. Matter of fact, gravity is a subset, a result of electricity. All particles have electrons, and all electrons create magnetic fields. So our body, just in its composition, with an excitable force, we have auras. We have magnetic fields. And it just comes from the activity within our cells with all of that, with all those atoms. As they glue together, they create a bigger magnetic field. So it's an electrical field. So gravity is a subset of electricity. And Brian Cox could never even begin to imagine that. He can't regurgitate that. I don't have a big enough program to pay him a salary or a stipend to be able to regurgitate what I say. Thea, a storm is coming. Red dawn. That's why it's called Red Dawn. We're going to see the red shift, the red light coming before we hear the trumpet sound, the loud sound. Carol, it is right now. It is almost 9 o'clock at night. An EMP is an EMP. I mean, a strong EMP is going to do just about as much damage as a negligible EMP. So it doesn't matter. It just has the same effect. It won't affect humans or animals. But just stay inside to be sure. All right. Thea, you're right. 144th day of the year. Wow. Make sure to break those shoes in before you take them with you to work. But you'll be fine. You'll have enough gas in your vehicle to get back home. Understand that. Most of you will be fine because you already have enough gas to get to where you're going. Just make sure you have a full tank. Solar panels in Faraday cage? I don't think so. Just make sure they're not connected. Make sure they're not connected. Disconnect them, and they should be fine. Realist, Charles, isn't that every electrical element is defective after the EMP? No. Sensitive electronic equipment can be affected and defected by an EMP. It depends on the sensitivity and its protection. But most 99.9% of stuff, if it's not working, if it's not turned on, it'll be fine. And just to be sure, cell phones and watches, it just doesn't hurt to be sure. But if you have a generator, it's going to be fine. Your car's going to be fine. Just don't be driving it when you see the bright light and the loud sound. All right, the president is mobilizing the military to quickly get vaccines to every American as soon as they're ready in October. Yeah, they're mobilizing for something, Goldie. But I don't think they're mobilizing. You don't start mobilizing now for something in October. They're mobilizing for some other reason. Yes, protect your eyes. That would be a good idea. Thea. Regarding Oumuamua, also presented many strange cases. Oh yeah, Oumuamua, that was under its own propulsion, its own navigation, and yeah, Oumuamua. It was definitely a visitor from another location. Yes, people are having extra body pain. People are still having weird dreams. Oh, it's an hour away? Girl, you're good. Go, don't lose that 2,000. Nikki T, listen to me. Listen to me, Nikki. Enjoy yourself. It's an hour away. Have fun. Go. Just have tank filled, and if you see that bright light and loud sound, just make sure that car is not running. No, soil and plants are fine. We've tested EMPs on them. They're great. They're like us. They don't know the difference. Solar panels should be fine. Just disconnect them. Disconnect them from the circuitry. Make sure that all the circuitry that is part of the solar panels is protected, because you need those circuits definitely for after the event. So any circuitry that controls, if it's got a circuit board, definitely put some aluminum and cardboard around it. Nah, no toxic crap. Everything will be good, Kelly. No, it's not going to toast us. We don't need to test. We're fine. Oh, shoot, man. Yeah. Santa Claus. Everybody that believes in Santa Claus, we're all brainwashable. Oh, a toast. Well, all right. Let's see. We can talk about a toast. I got you. Sorry, I was reading things wrong. 10,000 likes. Thank you for cleaning that up. It takes a village. All right. So, New Zealand will be affected. Everybody's going to be affected. The whole world will be affected, JB. Welcome. I don't mean to be ugly. Farrell B., why did you move to Spain? There's a long video about that. My first live, I go through the reason I moved to Spain, and I can talk about it again one day, but I need to wrap this up because I've been away from my wine too long. All right. I don't have my opener here. I'll have to step away. No, I do have one. I always have one available. What am I talking about? So the wine that I'm drinking tonight, it is a Rioja. And this is a Rioja wine. Rioja wine is the finest wine growing area in all of the world. The finest wines come from Rioja. I spit on the French because I'm Spanish, and I will never change my mind on that. This is a Crianza. I will have to get up in a minute. Crianza. Hang on to that for a second. Let me put the microphone down. And I know the focus isn't there maybe for it, but A crianza is important. Hang on, I'll be all right. And this is what we call cosecha. Cosecha. And these are all made with the very special grape Tempranillo. Tempranillo. So tempranillo, temprano means early. And this grape is what we call an earliest grape. It's the earliest grape in wine. It's very small, it's black, and it's delicious, and it comes out very early. Well, it's delicious if it's done right. So the Tempranillo grape is grown in the region called La Rioja. Fia de Flora, I will ban you if you start talking about French wines. Of course you prefer French wines. You're in Quebec, you're in Canada. This is a no-brainer. So Rioja is a region in Spain. It's a Basque region. So, yes, I'm very nationalistic, absolutely. But it really is an amazing wine growing region because it's very rugged, it gets great sun, and the nutrients in the land there are just very, very unique. So Rioja wines are spectacular. Why did I say cosecha and why did I say crianza? The cosecha, right here, cosecha, means that this is basically going from the field to the bottle. There's not much aging going on this bottle of cosecha. Cosecha means done. Hecha. La cosa está hecha. La cosa, the thing, está hecha, is done. This is a bottle that just basically gets pressed, goes in the bottle, gets a little bit, probably about 2 or 3 months in the bodega, and then gets distributed. A very young wine, it will not keep. It will not keep at all. You'll get a year, maybe 2 years out of this. If it's by a really good Basque winery, a good Rioja winery, you could probably get 5 years out of it. But don't buy a cosecha to age. Then we have the crianza. And this label, Rioja, is the $1 million label. If you can put this label on your wines, you are going to be a very wealthy person. So this is the $1 million label. They even hologram the things. Every bottle is numbered that has the Rioja brand. So I can call the bodega Arnalete and get the information on this bottle, where the grapes came from their vineyard, what region, what part, I mean exactly what square these grapes came from, and how the weather was, if any strange things were going on with the grapes, if there was an infection, just any information that the winery can put in a database is available to me just by giving them that number. And a crianza means by Spanish law. You cannot put the name crianza on a bottle unless it's done properly. And that means it has to be in a bodega, in a warehouse, in either American oak or French oak for at least 6 months. So it has to cure a little bit before it can go out to market. And they usually sit in the bodega bottled maybe a year before they start to be distributed. So these sit in oak for at least 6 months and then possibly a year in the bodega. Of course, it's a trade secret how long this crianza is in the oak barrel, but by law it has to be at least 6 months. So what happens during that 6 months? Well, of course, the wine ages, and it takes on a lot of what oak from France, and it's not just regular oak; it's charred oak. So that gives that smoky flavor that everybody likes in a heavier red wine. So this same grape can be two different wines entirely. This is a fun, easy, quick drinking, light wine, a table wine. A crianza is more of a heavy meat wine, or if you're going to have a good, just anything that's harder and heavier, that you want to have a good taste to go with it. So this goes great with a steak, noodles, spaghetti. You're not going to want to have the cosecha. You just want more flavor. Then I don't have them where I can get to them, but there's also reserva, reserve, and gran reserva. Reserva means this is a reserve wine. So by law, it has to be in oak, I believe, 2 years, and then has to it has to age in the bodega for, I think, at least, I'm not sure, but I know it has to be in oak for at least 2 years. And so that curing process is a natural curing process. We don't put all of those preservatives that Napa Valley puts in their bottles, because the bottles that come out of Napa Valley have to be distributed out throughout America. They have to be bottled quickly. It's for profit. And so there's a lot of tannins. There's a lot of play that goes on. But they don't allow wines to rest in oak barrels for too long in America, unless you are a very great winery and understand how to do that process. Wine is everything in Europe. Wine is everything in Europe. There's beer, there's booze, but wine. I mean, Philippe and DeFleur and I just had our little tiff. Well, I'm Quebecan, and I like French wines. Well, of course you do. Canada, Quebec. No brainer. I'd be shocked. I would probably be offended for you if you liked Spanish wines and if you boasted drinking Spanish wines. It'd be like me boasting for French wines. Just don't do it. It's fun. Tower of Babel. Then there's Reserva. It is an oak for 2 years, and that wine is incredibly delicious. I cannot tell you, it is the finest wine that you'll drink. You have to let it breathe for at least an hour for the full flavors to settle. But then after that hour, it's incredible. And then there's Gran Reserva. And Gran Reserva has to be at minimum, again, minimum. These are minimums for them to be certified. They do go longer in oak barrels and are cured specially. And so Gran Reservas is like drinking butter out of a bottle. If you can imagine butter, just the fantasticness of butter, and then wine, and then combine, and then have that happen. Gran Reservas are like nothing you've ever drank in your entire life. All right? So, Cosecha, Crianza, Reserva, and Gran Reserva. And I am going to open up the Crianza. I thought I didn't have a bottle opener with me, but I always have one if I have my backpacks. It is standard gear. I have my main backpack wine bottle opener, and then I have my backup one. Total emergency. I mean, be prepared. I've never used this one. I never want to use it, and hopefully I never will. But in case I can't find this one, or this one's been robbed or stolen, no one's going to steal this one. I have it. The same if the common event doesn't happen. It will all be okay. All right, so Casé has been great. I'm going to open the Crianza. I have a filet mignon that I'm going to be preparing for dinner. So I'm using this, and the first thing I do is cap the bottle, take care of that plastic cap. This is more for decoration that we do this. You know, I could take off, many restaurants go ahead and take off the entire plastic lining, or the aluminum lining, and sometimes plastic. But you just get a better presentation if you keep that part of the bottle there. And also this obeys in some of the dripping. You shouldn't drip if you're a good wine pourer. All right. Now my wine opener is a hinged opener. Okay. It has a hinge here. And so when I go to open it, I'm going to get into the middle of that thing, and I'm going to just drive this down, 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 down. And then I'm going to get it so far that the lip of this guy is going to be at the edge of the bottle, and it's going to help me with my initial push. I'm sorry, this guy. This guy is going to be at the edge of the bottle. So this guy's going to be flayed out, and the first lip is going to engage with the lip right here, and then help me with my first push. And then the second hinge lip is going to come in, and I'm going to make sure the force is right. There's going to be a triangular force, and then my second push, I get to pop it out. All right. And the most important thing is when you're screwing the bottle, you want to make sure that this part of the screw gives you your leverage. All right. You don't want to be right here, the top of the cork right here when you're starting your process. You want to make sure you're at the best leverage point, which is that cork buried. All right. So the uncorking goes. Gosh. Help you out. Get a good center. I'm not a TV guy. Get a good center lever point in there, and then just slowly drive that boy in there. Make your T out. Get it in there, get it in there, get it in there. And the further in you get it, you won't have a corking issue either. Now, one of the big problems with making wine this way is the longer you keep wine, the more will go wrong with it. So, you think, well, why don't they make more reservas? Because not all of the barrels come out. This is nature. So the wineries have genius winemakers who I adore. And there we are. Came out perfectly. Good color. Great smell. And oh God, that smells good. And so, the longer you keep wine, the more you have to care for it, the more expensive it is to maintain it, and then you're going to have spoilage. You're going to have wine that turns. So, I drink my wine out of a wine glass. Not because, I don't know, I drink my wine the way the Romans did it. This is a Roman cup. It is not actually Roman, but it is a glazed cup. So it's waterproof, and it is made of clay, so therefore it's waterproof. But for whatever reason, for me, it gives my wine a better flavor. Here's another example. This one's more rough hewn, and I don't know what year it's from. And then this one is from a festival, the Chorizo Festival, which I will be going to once everything clears up. And this is more quiche. This is more touristy wine glass, and it's got a bigger pour so that you're at a festival. This is a smaller pour and more enjoyable. All right, so you should let your wine breathe. To get a good wine, let it breathe for at least an hour. Because if you taste it immediately and then taste it after it breathes, you're just going to have a totally different wine, because the alcohol that's in there is a little bit stronger. Let some of it evaporate out, and it takes out some of the raw taste of it. And the longer you let a wine breathe without spoiling, without turning, the better it is. That's what we call the aging of wine. So it's not even if you live in a barrel in a bodega, but if you open it and let it breathe out, it ages properly and faster, and you just have better wine. That's all wines, but especially a beautiful crianza. So right now, a lot of the alcohol has bled off. So this young wine has a stronger, although by volume, they should be just about equal wines. But actually, this wine has more alcohol by content because this evaporates wine in the oak barrel, as does the Reserva and the Gran Reserva. They lose a lot of the alcohol just through, but the flavor remains. So here I go. I did just open it, and I'm okay with that happening. I've got a little bit of drippage right there, but I'm ready for it. And we don't like losing any wine. And here I go. The Breadcrumbs Project. Thank you all for everything that you're doing to make this possible. Thank you for listening to these 4 hours of discussions, and thank you for being new and good friends. Salud, dinero y amor. Nine o'clock? Why did I wait till 9 o'clock to do this? Oh, that's good. The big secret about European wine, even though we put labels on there, the tannins and everything that Americans want us to put on those labels to make their hippies happy or whatever, preservatives, all that kind of stuff. There are no preservatives in this wine. And so I can drink, and I usually do each evening, with friends and hanging out, or even alone and eating and everything. I'll drink about a bottle of wine, and I wake up with no hangovers. And this has been going on for 5 solid years since I've just been drinking solid Spanish wine, Rioja wine, for the last 5 years. Back in the day, if I drank 2 or 3 glasses of a good California, I'd feel it the next morning, And I'm talking about good hearty glasses. I'm not talking about small thing, but good chalice glasses, say a half a bottle. But if I drank a bottle of Napa Valley wine, there's going to be a hangover. There's going to be dry mouth. The next morning it's going to be, oh my God, oh, it's just hard. I'm not doing that again. I'm not putting away a bottle. No, why do I do that to myself? And I was a frequenter when I lived on Pensacola Beach. There's a great place called the Wine Bar, and it is a true wine bar, and they have a great restaurant that goes with it. And I was talking about this phenomenon because they knew I only drank Rioja wines, and they loved the flavors and everything. And I said, no, there's no hangover. But bullshit, there's no hangover. Drink 2 bottles of that wine and tell me there's no hangover. Let's do it. And I've been at parties where we put each of us away 2 bottles of wine. And the only thing I really feel off of that is just, wow, I ate and just drank 2, you just feel full. But no hangover, no dry mouth. And I call everybody present. And I'm like, how you feel? I feel fine. I'm about to go fishing. We're going out and going shopping. So no hangovers. I'm going to probably polish off a bottle of wine. Got some friends to visit with later on this evening. Proper social distancing and masks. But it's going to be great. So here we go. Good evening. Bye, 10,000 Lakes. Thea, everybody. Good night. Salud. 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 And as we say in the Galician province, ciao, ciao, ciao. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Send me any questions at thebreadcrumbsproject.com, and I will answer.